The movie opens by showing a man named Anthony who has a plan to steal diamonds, but the action is not because of his own desire, but at the request of his boss named Christoph. In the action, Anthony does not work alone, and he is assisted by his friend Miles. Meanwhile, elsewhere, we are shown with a government spy from Taiwan named Sue. Not only intelligent, Sue is also proficient in martial arts. Here, Sue is seen monitoring Christoph in his building, and it is clear Sue's intention to catch the diamond robber. Without further ado, Sue immediately attacks. Back to Anthony, he has now found a secret way to get into a special room where diamonds are stored, but of course the effort is not easy because the place is full of guards. Fortunately, Anthony has two more colleagues named Daria and Tommy who are good at distracting the guards. As a result, Anthony managed to reach a large safe and start running the action. When they managed to open it in the safe, there were indeed very expensive diamonds, including very rare black diamonds. Elsewhere, Sue apparently knew the robbery plan carried out by Christoph and his men, so he immediately reported it to the police. When the police investigated the scene, Anthony and his accomplice immediately frantically ran out and decided to split up to confuse the pursuing police. In the middle of his escape, Miles was then intercepted by Sue, who easily snatched the bag containing the diamonds. After Sue left, Sue checked the bag and realized that the bag was not the black diamond he had been looking for. Elsewhere, a man named Ying just got out of his private plane and was greeted by a beautiful woman named Sona. Sona then began to tell him about the very rare black diamond and made them both start to be interested in owning it. On the other hand, Anthony and his friends reconvened to discuss their next move. Miles also revealed that the diamond they stole was taken by a man named Sue, and fortunately, it was not the black diamond that was taken. Anthony then went to see his colleague named Archie, who provided weapons and heavy equipment, and the purpose of Anthony's arrival there was to leave the black diamond to Archie. The plan was that Anthony would look for more black diamonds and try to discuss it with Christoph, but when Anthony arrived at Christoph's place, he found that his boss had been tragically killed. Then Sue also appeared there, which Sue was definitely the one who had killed Christoph. As a result, the fight between the two was inevitable. In the midst of the commotion, Anthony got a call from Ying, who now wanted to get a black diamond, and because Ying had worked with Christoph, then Anthony immediately left Sue. But on the way, Anthony was followed by an unknown car, so Anthony showed his driving skills and deliberately crashed into the person's car. Not saying much, Anthony immediately invited the person to make a fuss, but the situation escalated to make Anthony unable to move. Sue, who was around the place, also decided to help Anthony. The two then worked together to defeat these people, which when Anthony and Sue worked together, they became a great duo. After defeating the criminals, Anthony got a call from Archie, who told him that his black diamond was stolen. Anthony immediately goes to Archie's place to see the CCTV footage, and they see a group of thieves working for a mafia boss named Cambers, who runs his operation in prison. Now the situation becomes very chaotic, and Anthony is also curious about who Sue really is, so Sue tells him he is a spy from Taiwan, and it turns out that the black diamond actually belongs to his home country, and that is the reason why the Taiwanese government sent Sue to get the black diamond back.
And he has a fucking army.
No, but I know cop in every language. Belong to Taiwan.
Shortly thereafter, Anthony received a call from Ying, who had apparently kidnapped Anthony's daughter Vanessa and held her hostage. Ying requested that Anthony hand over the black diamond if he wanted Vanessa to survive. Anthony was even more confused because now the black diamond was gone, But Sue had a better plan, which was then Sue lied to Ying that he had the diamond and asked Ying not to hurt Vanessa. Sue then invited Anthony to work together to get the black diamond at all costs. The two began to carry out their plan, and while on the way, Sue told him that Ying used to be his co-worker in Taiwan, but Ying chose to rebel against the government until Ying lost and was dishonorably fired from his job. Soon, Anthony and Sue arrived at the prison to meet Cambers, but Cambers didn't seem to care about their problems, while Anthony became very worried because without the black diamond, Vanessa's life was at stake.
Check out the boom.
Since the meeting was fruitless, Anthony and Sue began to look for other ways, and the first step they had to take was to find the whereabouts of the black diamond. Anthony thought that perhaps the diamond was hidden in Cambers' private office or perhaps in Cambers' bar, so they divided their work with Anthony in charge of sneaking into Cambers' private office while Sue checked into Cambers' club. In short, Anthony and Miles began their mission to sneak into the Cambers' office, while in another room, Tommy and his partner disguised themselves as exterminators to stop other people from leaving the room so that Anthony could freely search for the diamond. But after looking everywhere, Anthony and Miles did not find the existence of the black diamond. Soon, Cambers' men showed up and saw Anthony and Miles' very suspicious actions. As a result, Anthony was caught by them while Miles managed to escape. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Sue and Archie head to Cambers' club to find the thieves who took the black diamond. When they get there, they see there is a boxing event where anyone can join. Knowing Sue's great ability, Archie also registered Sue to take part in the duel, which that way their arrival was not suspected by Cambers' men. When Sue was fighting in the ring, Archie went around looking for the people who stole the black diamond, and after a long walk around, Archie finally found the man who wore the ring from the black diamond. Then Sue chose to stop the duel and arrest the man, but the arena referee prevented him because the fight was not over. As a result, Sue had no other choice and fought anyone who tried to stop him. Back to the previous place, Anthony is now arrested by the police for being accused of being a thief. Then when the police were caught off guard, Anthony fought back and escaped using a motorcycle. As a result, the chase between Anthony and the police ensued, but fortunately Anthony managed to escape after jumping into another building. Back to the bar, it turns out that Archie not only found the person they were after, but also got a prize after Sue won the boxing match. On the other hand, Ying met Chambers in prison, and his goal was to find the whereabouts of the black diamond, but the way Chambers responded to his words made Ying angry and finally attacked Chambers to death.
Okay.
He says not to bother.
Elsewhere, Anthony, Sue, and others returned to Chambers' office to continue the search for black diamonds, but when they got there, they found all of Chambers' men had been killed. There, Sue then found one black diamond, but it seemed that the other black diamond had been taken by Ying first. Of course, this made Anthony angry and increasingly confused to save his daughter. Meanwhile, now Ying and his men show the black diamond they managed to get, and of course the selling value is very high. They then check the diamond with a tool, but it turns out that the black diamond shows very high radiation, which means that the black diamond is not an ordinary diamond, but a material that has the potential to explode until the explosion exceeds the atomic bomb. No wonder why so many are trying to get the black diamond. At the same time, Vanessa managed to break free from the bonds on her body and immediately called her father. Anthony immediately asked where Vanessa was now, but Vanessa couldn't describe the place because she was now trapped in a car whose windows were covered with paint and all she could see were 4 chairs and laser lights. Not wasting time, Anthony and the others began discussing Vanessa's rescue mission. Meanwhile, elsewhere, some important and wealthy people gather in a building where they will be the buyers of the black diamonds sold by Ying. Then Ying busily shows his black diamonds in front of them while bragging about his ability to get the rare diamonds. While Ying is conducting the auction of the black diamonds, Anthony and others stormed by, shooting down one by one Ying's men. The situation there was getting heated after Archie forced his way into the building using his tank. Seeing the commotion, the prospective buyers immediately ran away scared, and saw that Sue then tried to reclaim the black diamond from Ying, but his action was stopped by Sona, who was also an expert in martial arts. Seeing that Ying also took the opportunity to escape by car, while Daria did not remain silent, she fought Sona so that Sue could immediately pursue Ying. And so did Tommy, who continued to shoot his gun at Ying's car while Anthony went to look for his daughter. Then Ying changed vehicles and tried to escape using a helicopter, and Sue did his best to stop him even though it ended in failure. Fortunately, right after the helicopter took off, Archie fired a bazooka from his tank, which finally dropped the helicopter. Then the story returns to show Daria, who is fighting against Sona, and finally she manages to defeat her. While Anthony also takes down Ying's men who try to block him, who wants to save Vanessa. But surprisingly, it turns out that Ying managed to survive the helicopter crash, and his appearance was immediately confronted by Sue to make the two of them engage in a fierce battle. In the fierce fight, Sue finally managed to defeat Ying, who then killed him using a high radioactive substance. After the riot began to subside, everyone regrouped where Vanessa returned to Anthony's arms safely while Sue got his black diamond back. Besides that, Anthony also promised to stop committing crimes because it could destroy his life and his family. For Anthony's sacrifice and struggle, Sue promised to testify to the police that Anthony was innocent, and the movie ended by showing them leaving the place.